cartoon. You don't hire a cartoon. You know, but like I told you guys before, myself personally, I like to keep it light. I like to keep, you know, keep the customer happy, keep them smiling, right? If they start getting all downtrodden, that demo might go in a direction you don't want it to go. In 2006, well, and at this point, I typically go. I'm sure you're familiar with the rolled insulation here. This is all in your attic, right? And then in 2006, once again making the mark on the industry, they introduced the Sure Nail technology, which I'll get into here in a minute with you folks. Okay? So here they are again, making changes to the industry. Okay, guys, this is so powerful in what we're doing with that customer, making sure that they understand who Owens Corning is. Okay, and that's why we're talking about these things. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, you want to know who you're dealing with. As a company ourselves, we are always striving for greatness. If you go online and check any of the third-party companies, Angie's List, Google, Hire It Done, Home Advisor, we are a 4.5 to 5-star company. We love to be a straight 5-star, but we do work with the public, and our motto is we're always striving for 5. Everyone always wants a reference. The best one I can give is the Better Business Bureau. Okay. From time to time, I get the guy who says to me, "Give me some people to call, or let me see some of your work." Okay. First of all, there's not a whole lot in that. Okay. Would I ever give you the name and number of an unhappy customer? No. Of course not. I'd only give you someone who will tell you what a great company we are. As far as jobs, I could send you by 100 of them, unless you pull out your ladder and climb on the roof, and what you'll see is a completed roof. How does that help? Right, it doesn't. Good, bad, or indifferent, the Better Business Bureau shows my track record from built solid to rock solid. Almost 20 years in business, over 15,000 customers. You can imagine we'd have a few complaints. There's a small handful, but of those, we have 0 unresolved issues. In other words, we've taken care of the issue from the homeowner so that that issue is resolved. So when looking for a contractor, isn't that what you're looking for? Someone who takes care of any issues? So truthfully, could I give you a better reference than the Better Business Bureau? Hits everything, right?
Minus the Angie's List, because I think we have a 2-star
Yeah,
rating with them.
What's up?
we don't actually do them anymore.
Like exactly what you want us to say when they have, like, okay, so one guy came into a home advisor.
And somebody can check that out. You know, if somebody does call you out on that, just say, yeah, well,
the
we
follow-up
left Angie's
text?
List, so there's been a few people, you know.
Like a follow-up text
because
template?
not, it's funny how we're not using them.
Yeah, I'll give one over to you. I'll just look at my phone and find it.
Okay, thanks.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
We feel that's just a ploy on Angie's List part, you know, to try to get us back again, however. Now, we're located in Mount Clemens, okay, right at Groesbeck Highway. You can see here, a few years back, we were actually asked to come on Channel 4. You guys are familiar with Channel 4, right? Well, they did a little question and answer, and it was in the springtime, coming out of the winter, what to look for, you know, in a roof. You know, did you receive any damage over the winter to your roof? Okay. Some of the things, granule loss and things of that nature. So we were very proud to go on there. When they started looking for companies to do this, they actually recognized us as one of the up-and-coming contractors in the metro area. You know, having great warranties for homeowners, great products, and obviously competitive pricing. Okay, so we were more than happy to go on Channel 4 when the time came. Now you can see here we sponsored some kids golf outings. We've done some baseball teams and things in that nature. And the owner, you know, he feels blessed, so he likes to give back to the community. And one way that we give back to the community, last year, we joined the Angels of Hope. Have you ever heard of the Angels of Hope before? Okay, this is actually a Michigan-based foundation, okay, that helps people that are cancer victims, okay? Just as an example, somebody goes into the hospital or whatever and they have multiple surgeries and they're gonna spend a week or two down at the hospital. Obviously, mom and dad, our family members aren't going to work, okay? Who's gonna pay the mortgage? Who's gonna make the house payment or the car payment? Where's money for groceries gonna come from? Okay, that's where Angels of Hope comes in and they help families, you know, that are going through these terrible times. It's something that we're very proud to help out. Most charities, the money goes to some fat CEO sitting at the top, right? We've all heard of those. 95% of the proceeds from Angels of Hope actually go to the charity itself.
So how much last year did you contribute to Angels of Hope?
I don't even know what we ended up doing. That's coming up, I
I
think.
think it was like 45 grand,
45.
and we did like half a year with them. It was our first year. We wanted 100, but
So with that being said, we also have what we call our Roundup program. Okay, that's so homeowners can actually participate in this. First of all, a certain small percentage of the proceeds from every job, there's a donation to Angels of Hope. And then we have our Roundup program that we encourage our homeowners to help us add to the cause. So in other words, if your number ends at 49, we'd ask you to donate $51 to make it an even 100. And then you get a certificate from the Angels of Hope stating that you donated to the program, and you can actually write that off on your taxes.
Joe, in about 15 minutes, we'll break for lunch.
Yeah,
We got a quick telemarketing meeting.
yeah, I'm almost done here anyway. Licensing and insurance is extremely important in the state of Michigan. First of all, licensing, if you were to hire a contractor and there was some issues and you had to go in front of a judge and he wasn't a licensed contractor, the judge will just tell you, what would you like me to do? You hired a contractor who's not licensed. That's it, done. Okay, so licensing is very important. Now on the backside, insurance, okay, most homeowners aren't aware that the state minimum for insurance is $300,000. Sounds like a lot of money if it was in your pocket, right? But when it comes to insurance, it's really not that much. Let's say you get that guy and you hire him and he's doing your roof and one of his guys falls off. And he spends a month in the hospital and a year in rehab. How far does $300,000 go? Doesn't go far at all, does it? You know who's responsible for anything above and beyond that $300,000? You, the homeowner. Yep.
Contractor would it be?
Not personally, but they're gonna go after your homeowners. This is the state of Michigan, we pay enough for insurance, don't we?
Yeah.
Could you imagine your homeowners being doubled or tripled over the next 10 years because you hired a contractor that had minimal insurance? Is that anything you'd want? Okay. Actually, we carry 2 million. Okay, and that's the most that the insurance companies will offer. Now that 2 million is per occurrence, so if it happened to a guy on this job and it happened to another guy on another job, it's two separate things, or even if it was on the same job. He'd be covered with 2 million and so would that guy. Now to take it a step further, we also put an umbrella policy on the project when we're working. So if little Johnny down the street comes over, steps on a nail, right, he's checking the guys out, he steps on a nail,
Okay.
and he goes home, mom and dad take him to the doctor, they're not coming over here knocking on the door going, hey, here's a bill for my son's foot surgery. Okay. Really what we do is we take all the risk out of doing business with us when we're on the job, because an accident is an accident.
Okay.
Would you hire anybody that didn't have a $2 million policy or didn't have a license?
Okay,
So your
All right.
policy covers like people that aren't your people. If
That aren't
if
from the
someone came
property.
on your job and got
Right.
hurt.
Now, if you notice that question I asked,
might be Harris, that was the.
okay, about would you hire somebody that didn't have $2 million policy or a license?
Said,
Okay, what is it, does that sound like a commitment?
Yeah.
Okay, it is kinda. It is a commitment,
Okay,
but it's called a tie down, because it's not one of the
Gotcha.
important
Okay.
commitments we
Okay.
want, like me. You know, obviously after looking at this project and all the problems
okay,
that
no
you,
problem, no, we should be good on it.
this is
so just,
something that has to be
get it in
taken
there
care
and
of
everything
sooner
else.
rather than later,
Sure,
wouldn't you
sure.
agree? You're telling me you need to get a roof done, okay? This one is just a little
No
tight.
problem, man, appreciate the phone
When
call.
time to come hire, when
Right,
time
thank
comes
you.
to hire somebody, okay? If they didn't have a $2 million policy or licensing, would you even hire them? Well, no. Right? So even if you don't make the sale, guess what this homeowner is doing? They're probably getting ready to chuck in the truck if you don't have a $2 million policy. Oh, you just got $1 million? Yeah. I don't know, because what's in their head?
yeah, they didn't pay more money.
Anything that's above and beyond, is an accident's an accident, you know? And I always love the guy that said, and sometimes I throw this in there, you know, I always love the guy that says, well, I've been doing this for 30 years, I ain't had no accident, that's why I only carry $300,000. I'm like, man, that guy is due, right? His time is due. Now, with that being said, we're a company that's a leader in the industry. And what I mean by that is we're constantly going to different seminars, certifications, okay? Whenever there's a code change, we're going to the seminar. Now, they want to talk about lead-based paint, we're going to the seminar. They want to talk about mold or asbestos, we're going to the seminar, okay? New products, we're going to the seminar. Okay, when the time comes, we put our pencils down, our hammers down, and we go as a company, making sure that when we come out to you as a homeowner, we're bringing you everything the latest in technology. Again, which we feel makes us a leader in the industry. Commitment number 2. Do you have any questions about my company? Would you have any reservations using us to do your work? Okay, just a quick breakdown on everything we've done. What we've done here, guys, is we've established the fact that we are a partner with Owens Corning, okay? Owens Corning is a huge company. They're worldwide. They have over 15,000 employees. They're in 26 countries. They are a leader in the industry, okay? As we get through and we start showing you the warranties and how they all work, it's Owens Corning that holds the warranty. Okay, which is extremely important. Because guess what happens to contractors? They come and go,
Yeah.
right? Business for 25 years. What if the boss here decides to go on a big fishing, he just wants to go fish the rest of his life, he's made his money. Who's gonna take care of that customer? Okay, not rock solid, they're gone. Or even if they are still there, it's not their responsibility, it's Owens Corning, okay? We'll get into that a little bit more too, but it's important to establish the fact that we're working with an extremely large Fortune 500 company. That's an innovator in the industry, okay? They're one of the leaders of the industry. Now, what else is important? Who we are as a company, okay? I mean, if I go into if I'm selling you if I'm showing you a roof and I got a D+ rating at the Better Business Bureau, what are my chances of getting your job? Slim to none. And if I was a smart guy, I certainly wouldn't mention that I have a D+ rating. I wouldn't even bring up the Better Business Bureau.
Who is that?
Right. Okay, so again, establishing who we are. Okay. Like you mentioned, yeah, Angie's List, our numbers are down on there since we stopped using them. You know, but you go anywhere else, you can go on Google. Okay. Don't say Yelp. Just say that. Yelp is the biggest sounding board out there. It's designed it's a place for people to go complain.
Yeah.
You know, so don't ever say Yelp. Okay. But if you would go to Google,
Something was missing out of it.
did I?
Get them all
Ashley?
over, but it shouldn't be transferred in your name.
You just bought a car from Car Wreck.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I'm like, how are you?
Good.
That's good.
It's funny. Her husband, that's my son's there too.
Yeah. Fred's everybody's barber.
know.
For real, no, for real. He cuts Levi's hair, the owner.
Oh,
his
really?
son's hair, his nephews, and a couple other people here.
Not me.
Well, he could give you a straight
You gotta
shave.
have hair for him to cut it.
Waiting for that?
Line you up.
I set myself up for that anyway, didn't I?
Yeah, Sebasti's all set.
Talking,
He's gonna get,
again, on
the
Google,
size of that. and I got
Where it
one
done,
here as well. That's a cut.
the home advisor. Okay? So you guys know we're huge into home advisor. We're actually what they consider their elite 360. So in other words, we're the best
Yeah, I
of the
got it
best.
still.
Okay. I
If
just
you
want-
want, if you want,
They
go
put
back
us
to
into
my
this program,
Okay.
they
Just so
promised
they're
us all
forced out
kinds of
there
stuff
and
with it.
Awesome. That way more
They
gets.
actually never delivered.
Yeah.
We still talk about us being
Yeah.
home advisor being 360, especially if the homeowner went there and found us. Because if they dug far enough, they'd see we're a 360.
Slideshow or whatever. Somehow I got put on there as the main
Just
homepage or whatever.
what ends up
They
happening
picture
is
we took out.
they go on there and
I
we
saw
get
you were
their name.
Damn, that was
and
like
then-
way before you were pregnant. and everything.
Yeah.
all that.
for all
Oh, we
the-
see you were on
well,
home
before the
advisor.
170
Chances are they never
pounds.
even went back and
That's what I'm
got
weighing
in
now.
with
and I'm like,
that elite 360. Okay, when these
Heavy baby.
places
I know,
started, your
right?
Angie's List, your Hire It Done, your Home Advisor, places like that, they had great intentions, okay? You gotta be in business a minimum of 10 years, you gotta have a place of business, right? You gotta have a good rating at the Better Business Bureau. You gotta have licensing and insurance. The problem they had was that they didn't have enough contractors to fit that criteria. So what did they do? They lowered their standards. So now the screening that they do is just to make sure you got license and insurance. They don't check nothing else. They don't care what your Better Business Bureau rating is. They don't care about any of that kind of stuff. They don't care if you committed a bankrupt or had bankruptcy 4 or 5 times and every time you change your name. Okay, they don't care about that stuff. But what we are at Home Advisor is we're the best of the best. Because we meet all that criteria. Okay, so you're dealing with one of their high-end contractors, we're not just some chuck in the truck who has license and insurance, and now they're getting appointments off a Home Advisor. So what we're doing is we're establishing, and that's why it's important to ask, could I give you a better reference? It's another one of those tie-downs. Sounds like a commitment, kinda is a commitment, but it's more of a tie-down than a commitment. Okay, and the difference between a commitment and a tie-down is you can miss a tie-down. If you miss a commitment, that'll bite your ass in the close. Okay, you get in the close. You don't discuss need. They're gonna, well, you know, I'm just gonna wait, I don't really need it. Right? You don't establish. You know, do you have any questions about the company? No, I don't have. It seems like you answered everything. Very rarely does anybody have a question for me about the company? Why would they? I pretty much answered them all. Because when I talk about the Better Business Bureau, you know, being in business almost 20 years, over 15,000 customers, you would expect that we have a couple of complaints, right? You have a small handful. But what's more important is I have 0 unresolved issues. So whatever that complaint through the customer was, is that we took care of it. And we made sure at the end of the day they were happy. So realistically, could I give you a better reference on the Better Business Bureau? No, that's a good one. Or they could just say no, I'm not really soliciting an answer, a bigger answer out of them. But you can always, if you just get a no like that, you can always do a follow-up question that gets them to say more. So if you tell me, no, I couldn't give you a better reference, what do you normally look for references? Now you're gonna solicit more of a yes or no answer, okay? But just getting that little tie down on it, because now you're getting a close. Well, I gotta do my research on you guys. Well, wait a minute. We've kind of done that, because we've talked about the Better Business Bureau, right? So when you're doing your research, are you looking for a better company? No, that's better reference on the Better Business Bureau. You told me I couldn't give you a better one.
Oh,
So your research doesn't involve getting
what's that?
references, does it? Well,
Oh, yeah.
you're able to combat anything that may come up with close. The little ones, again, are tie downs. The commitments are the big ones. Do you have any questions about
Oh,
it?
okay, sounds good, man.
Would you
Yeah,
have
I'll
other
run it over.
reservations using us to do your work?
So,
No.
okay.
Okay. When the time comes to hire a company, are we the type of company that you'd be looking for? Yes. Okay, now when I get the close, they're not talking about the company. You don't have to do the research on the company. Well, wait a minute, you told me earlier that you were comfortable with my company, and you didn't have any questions. You even went as far as telling me that I'd be the type of company that you'd hire when the time comes. So, are you not telling me the truth now, or were you not telling me the truth back then? But if I'm getting that much of a dickhead of a customer, I'll fucking call them out on that. I ain't afraid to ask that question, or to address that. Right? Because he's being a dick. And those are all just stall tactics. But if I revert back, now I can revert back. Well, wait a minute, you told me earlier you were comfortable with my company. We're the type of company you were looking for. Oh, that's true. Okay, so now I've basically shut that down. The whole demonstration that we're gonna go through and you guys are gonna teach. Reason I'm showing you guys the difference between commitments and tie downs is because they both seem very similar. Okay, but the commitment is what you need to bring into the close. Okay, so that when that customer, trying to bust your chops, and they will. They're playing poker with you, okay? And they're all fucking lying. The only ones that aren't lions are what we call laydowns. The ones that you go through and you go through the presentation and they love everything. And those you're gonna probably, so that one he said he got the $6,000 commission was a laydown. By the time he was done going through his presentation, that customer was buying into everything he was telling them, buying into everything he was saying, so that when he got to the close, okay, a masterful presentation always makes for an easy close. They were ready to go. They were ready to make a move. They were comfortable with everything that he said, everything he did, everything that he showed them. So that when he asked for the money, they were like, okay, let's do it. Okay? Couldn't be any easier than that. Wish half people were laid out. They'd be so fucking rich, it wouldn't even be funny. Right? Just like you wish half the people that walked out of your car lot would buy a car, you probably wouldn't be here today. Or that you could finance.
And in that business, that's all it is. We're selling the payments, not the car.
Yeah.
So some people don't know their buying power because they think their credit's shit, or it is shit, but we still have a lender for them.
Right.
And then it's just smooth sailing. It's all about payment too.
So yeah, and we're gonna get into the next phase of this here when we come back. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break for we got a few more minutes, yeah. You got them coming in at one day?
1:45.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get out of here now. We'll get back here at 1:45. You guys got any questions on what we just went through before we leave?
A lot of information
It is.
to digest.
I warned you. I warned you. We're gonna cram it in.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, like Dave has been reiterating, it's, you guys are here, looking to do something new, a new career. It's exciting, can be very lucrative. Take the time, that we're training you here and use it to make sure that all this information gets, put in there, because the more you guys retain while we're here, the easier the transition is gonna be, and they're going out there and selling, It's no different than kind of what we're doing with the customer, We're teaching you guys how to, get in the house and put the products down and run through the presentation. If you get the presentation down, the close actually can be a lot easier than it needs to be. It can be quite complicated too, but if you retain what we're teaching you and you follow the program throughout the close and when you're laying your money down and going through your discounting sequence, once all that stuff comes into play, it's just going to be a matter of teaching you guys some of the backside stuff, a couple more of the, some of the tricks of the trade. And, that's why I put Anthony on the spot. Are you still learning? Yeah. Everybody always brings up my little saying because it's something that I learned, okay? I mean, I was 45 years old when I went into sales. So I was already kind of an old dog, trying to learn a new trick. But if I would have fucking knew this shit when I was a kid, I'd fucking be retired by now. Going into my own venture and doing things the way that they could be done here, and I was younger and full of piss and vinegar, But my saying is, if you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. Right? So learn something every day. And if you look back on life, a lot of times you are learning something every day. Unless you're the guy that just says, fuck it. I'm not reading that crap. I'm not doing this. I'm not listening to that fucking guy. But as it pertains to us and what we're doing, there's no way, that we could cram all the information that we have, into your guys' head even in a 1 month training session. It's just because so much of it has to do with experience and being out there with the customers and running into some of the, that's why I say we throw you out to the wolves kinda, because you guys do need to go through your bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
You need to have some of those experiences to make you better and
Where you learn the most.
so that where so when you go out to that and you can identify, that customer that's being that way the next time and you can work around it, or say the right thing instead of saying something that's a killer statement that just shuts that customer right down. It's just like you say, like me, you guys on Facebook?
Yeah.
I got a nephew who's on Facebook. I can't say nothing about Trump without him coming out and fucking putting some kind of report about how shitty he is and this and that. And, I'll be honest, I engage with him too. When we go back and forth and we banter and, at least all the, on his end, it was all name calling and he had his buddies jumping in and they were calling me stupid and fucking, you dumb old man, you boomer, this, that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Jeez. But something that you never bring up in a demo when you're sitting with the people, politics or religion. Okay, because those are two things that can take somebody's level of where their emotions are at and either put them on an extreme high or it could send them on an extreme, low. So in other words, they get super excited about it or they get pissed off angry. So those are things to avoid. If they ever bring them up, you always just agree with them. Yep. If they start hammering you about politics, you can always revert that. Well, I'm not really the most political guy, so I don't have, I don't really have the information to debate anybody. But I agree with you. You know,
Or just turn it back like what he said too, and just say, hey, you know, I let sales 101. Never talk politics or religion in somebody's house. So I'm going to be the fifth here, and just, you know, just kind of back away, and they'll be cool. Because even agreeing with them, that might be the husband's stance, but the wife is going fuck his stance and everything else. And now you're agreeing with him, and she thinks you're an asshole, and she's the one who's going to cut the check.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so just hey, I learned way back in the day when I started sales, never talk politics or religion in the customer's house. And then move on.
just like you never do business with family or friends.
Yeah, I know sold cars to friends or family. I'd refer them to the sales guys next to me.
Right. Right. Well, you're gonna find out. Oh, you're gonna get that. I'm just getting estimates. Well, I'm waiting on an estimate. My buddy's friend is a roofer, and I'm waiting for him to come over. Well, if you have a friend that does it, why hasn't he been here yet?
Yeah.
What are you waiting on? Why isn't he here? Well, you think that'd be the first guy to come over here and give you a price?
Leave our stuff here.
Yeah, you're fine.